We begin with a message from the Oskaloosa city manager regarding the status of Oskaloosa's water supply. Rainfall this week has led to rising concern about our city's water department. City manager Michael Schrock released this statement Thursday night saying the city's water services are up and operational. While there are concerns about continued flooding in the area, there are no plans to shut the city's water supply off. The city and emergency responders are closely monitoring the potential storm activity predicted for Friday and the weekend. Severe rain of 4 to 6 inches could hit Oskaloosa this week and result in flash flooding that would pose a threat to the water services, property, and lives. Here's some videos here I captured Friday morning at Oskaloosa's water department north of town on Highway 63. This is where Oski's drinking water is pumped out of ground wells. On the top of the pumps are electric motors that power the pumps. The concern is if our area or farther north receives 4 to 6 more inches of rain this weekend, that may be enough to cause the department to shut these pumps down, potentially limiting Oskaloosa's water supply. But let me stress, Friday morning, Water Department General Manager Chad Kuhn says the river level is holding steady. City Manager Michael Schrock is also urging the public to reserve calls to 911 for emergency situations only. Reg, you initially ran as a Republican.
Yes.
But didn't make it past the primary.
Right.
Now you've decided to stay in the race, but as an independent candidate. How did you come to that decision?
Actually, me and my wife discussed that at length.
Mr. Rosenboom, you've never held a public office before. How did you come to the decision to run for county supervisor?
Lawrence Rao decided to retire. I've had a lifelong interest in government, local, state, federal.
If we reduce property taxes and then eliminate corporate income taxes for the first 3 years, how does the state make up for that lost revenue?
Well, we make up for it by growth because of the new companies that will locate in Iowa. The business.
What would be your responsibility and what would you see the legislature's responsibility as far as improving test scores here in this district and statewide?
Well, I think primarily the responsibility for increasing test scores lies with teachers and students. And I think that anything that we can do to help teachers more effectively improve those test scores through their students is a good idea. Now that to me does not necessarily mean we need to throw more money at the problem.
Oskaloosa's elementary school is hoping that a new program will lead to better behaved students and in return better grades. The program is called Positive Behavior Instruction and Support, PBIS for short. On Tuesday night, new elementary principal Josh Manning introduced the Area Education Association sponsored program to parents. Manning isn't new to PBIS. He'd been working with it for the last 4 years in Waukees school system. CRI went to school to find out more about this new program and how it works. Principal Manning says we can't assume anymore that students know how to behave in class. That's where teachers and PBIS come in.
Giving kids strategies on how to behave appropriately in school, and it's giving teachers instructional tools on how to teach kids how to behave.
The bottom line is students who don't know how to act are more likely to interrupt the class. If schools can lower the number of interruptions, the more time teachers will spend teaching and students learning.
Hey, bring down the voice level. It should be down to a 1. You should be at your center.
When you have that under control, student achievement, motivation, culture is going to grow within that building. They are going to be more attentive to learning, to their academics, when there aren't behavioral issues in a classroom.
But the challenge is, in the past, students might have been taught different standards of behavior, whether at home, in public, or throughout their school career. So the elementary is streamlining its teachers' standards of conduct and punishment, but also building its students up in the process, using little blue tickets.
The hope is that we're getting kids to be intrinsically motivated, but we're starting off with this ticket. And when they get this ticket, we say to a student, thank you for being responsible in the hallway, or thank you for using a responsible tone in the lunchroom, or thank you for being caring to that student who dropped their books and picking up. We appreciate that.
Students and their classes collect tickets and friendly competition among other sections. Good and responsible behavior is rewarded with things like getting to watch a movie during lunch, extra recess, a reading party, any number of things. All in attempts to encourage a school-wide change where students understand and value being respectful.
I can't even tell you that the culture of a building helps breed the academic success. And so PBIS is going to increase achievement.
overall, we feel really positive about the start to the school year. There are some glitches, there are some wrinkles that we need to continue to work out, and it's a new thing and it's a lot of work, but we're trying to make it as user-friendly as possible for the teachers, and we're trying to make it as beneficial as possible for the students.
Molly, Principal Manning told me while working with PBIS at Waukees Elementary School's a 4A district, he told me in just 1 year, classroom interruptions dropped from 1,800 to about 900 incidents. Molly, Principal Stacy Bandy says by adding Project Lead the Way, Oskaloosa can better prepare its students for rigorous college-level work on the road to high-paying engineering jobs that are available in this area. And that's one of the big reasons Bandy is getting behind this program. He says it's a chance to build up the community by keeping its most gifted sons and daughters.
After a 3-year break, Oskaloosa and Pella are working together again on a possible regional airport to serve area businesses. The cities considered the venture back in 2005, but talks ended when a countywide vote mandated the city to stop. The idea was raised again in late 2007, but Oskaloosa's mayor and several council members were taken to court. CRI's Jonathon Gregg has been following the issue for several months and joins us now to help explain why, after 2 failed attempts, Oskaloosa is again considering a regional airport.
Molly, Pella and Oskaloosa are considering this project to not only serve the flying needs of businesses like Pella Windows or Musco Sports Lighting, the company that underwrites the CRI, but to also better this area's chances at receiving tens of millions of dollars in federal funding to build a new north-south corridor to replace Highway 63. It's a road that both Pella and Oskaloosa want. Last spring, Mahaska County and Oskaloosa sent the federal government a letter expressing their concern for the condition of 63 and support for a new route to Interstate 80 and beyond. And really, the pursuit of a new highway is the big difference between talks about a regional airport now and any consideration before it. It's an added motivation for the two cities to work together. Back in March, Mahaska County and Oskaloosa were looking for federal money to pay for an environmental study that would determine the best place to build a new road. In response, the federal government said trying to build a new highway alone is not enough to gain the government's attention, that there first should be a regional airport serving the greater area, Oskaloosa and Pella.
Because the federal government and the state government are telling us to look at these things together. And so that makes that project being the airport and the highway, a much more attractive project to fund at the state and federal level.
The main function of a regional airport is to land larger corporate jets capable of nonstop coast-to-coast trips as well as international flights. I visited Oskaloosa's airport and met with manager Jerry Strunk. Strunk says even though Oski's airport doesn't have runways as long as a regional airport, there is room to expand.
And we have area to expand on to put in the new runways.
But consider for a moment the location of Oskaloosa's airport. Oski's runways are located halfway to Ottumwa's regional airport, 15 minutes from Oski and only 15 minutes to Ottumwa. Strunk says that fact does not make his current site an attractive one for a regional airport.
Chances of that happening with the FAA is probably slim to none. Say, okay, we got 2 regional airports within this. Ottumwa would probably stay the regional airport.
Add the fact that Oskaloosa is considering an airport partnership with Pella, Strunk's location is even less likely to be considered for a joint venture. Oskaloosa and Pella considered working on a regional airport back in 2005. At that time, a possible location was named near Otley, Iowa in Marion County. However, talks between Pella and Oskaloosa came to an abrupt end in November of 2005 when Mahaska County residents voted against any further consideration of a regional airport. Dave Dixon was Oskaloosa's mayor at the time of the vote.